Dr. Lacey Hunt, chief economist at Hossington Investment Management, changes the common narrative about inflation and the economy in 2021. Dr. Hunt explains that we are seeing a classic supply squeeze and that inflation will end with price wars between America and Chinese producers. In addition, the benefits of stimulus are wearing off, but the debt remains, and we have hit diminishing returns for growth and economic activity. Dr. Hunt said that when a consumer good increases in price, we feel that immediately in our wallet, but obviously that doesn't translate into runaway inflation. There's no question that we currently have inflation. That's really indisputable. The issue is whether these forces are going to be sustained, and it's our strong opinion that we are in the vicinity of the peak growth and inflation for the year, and that the growth and inflation that we are seeing right now will be the highest for a long time to come. This is the best that we get right now. The pattern will change very significantly as we go forward by the end of the year. Before the end of the year, it should be readily apparent that the level of economic activity is going to be considerably below where the pre-pandemic trend that was in place as we entered 2020 would have taken. The price pressures that we have seen today are basically due to supply side disruptions, which are transitory. They do not persist. They can be vicious as these are, but they do not persist. And in addition to that, the benefit from huge debt financed fiscal packages. So what happened was the supply curve shifted inward and the demand curve shifted outward. So it gives you higher prices and somewhat better growth. But the move in inflation was quite significant. But that will change. The pandemic greatly disrupted production processes. The United States, worldwide, and as a result, the flow of goods into the United States was tremendously disruptive, and this afforded the relatively higher cost producers in the United States an opportunity to grab market share, and they were able to grab market share by raising prices at the same time as a lack of competition. But as the pandemic problems debate and begin to get a greater flow of goods into the United States, the picture will change because the low-cost producers in Asia who have lost market share are going to want to regain market share, and the high-cost producers in the United States who have been benefited are going to want to hold. That suggests we are going to see price wars and the picture will change. The pandemic did far more to boost domestic output than the Trump. It was universally helpful to domestic producers in many different industries, and so that picture will definitely change as we go forward. The other thing that will be happening on the supply side, it's really the supply. The adverse supply situation has actually raised ordering and demand by more than the fundamentals warrant. Because people are frustrated, they cannot get needed product. So what do? They place a second or third order, and as these disallocations and bottlenecks and shortages come to an end, folks will start cancelling the surplus orders, and that will be occurring at about the same time that the transitory benefit from the huge sum of borrowed funds begin to lose its potency. There's probably more than 30 cases of debt finance fiscal operations in Japan. There's 20 cases in Europe, maybe 25, as per Dr. Hunt. He asked us to take the Trump tax cuts of 2018 debt finance, second quarter of 2018. It was a great quarter. But what happened in the third quarter? It was okay. But the growth started decelerating, and then all the way through 2019, growth was irregularly getting weaker and weaker, even though the Fed was constantly cutting rates and the pattern of the economy going into 2020 was quite poor. In fact, in 2019, the world experienced the first contraction in global trade for a necessary recession ever, for a non-recessionary year. So these packages, although they are huge, they don't last in terms of their benefit. But what does last is the debt. That's a problem. The debt triggers the law of diminishing returns. If you increase a factor of production, such as debt capital, initially output rises, continue overusing it, output flattens out. You still overuse it, output declines. It's really difficult for a lot of practical people to come to grips with the fact that this is a non-linear relationship. People assume that economics is accounting. It's business. It's not. So the excessive use of debt triggers diminishing returns, and you get weaker and weaker, and you perpetuate the problems. You get a short-term benefit and then the benefit flows away, and it flows away very quickly, and that's basically where we are. Last year, when everybody was confined, couldn't travel, a lot of service sector expenditures collapsed, travel and leisure. Even doctors' visits took a big hit. People didn't want to go out, put themselves at risk. But what had also happened last year was a huge surge in the demand for household durable goods. Now the household sector is stocked full of durable goods. They have home entertainment networks. They bought additional up-to-date computer equipment. They bought entertainment sets. They have modified their houses. They have expanded their houses, and so now what will happen is we will see a shift to entertainment and leisure, but the spending for durable goods is going to come off very dramatically. They are going to balance. It's going to be the reverse of last year. The demand is not really recapturable. The other critical factor that people need to keep focused with is the fallacy of the broken glass. Dr. Hunt says that when you have a recession or a pandemic, some sort of economic crisis, a lot of businesses are failed, a lot of restaurants close down, lots of other businesses. So when a recovery commences, we pick up the gain in spending from the firms that survive, but we don't capture the losses of those who failed. So you may go into restaurants and you see full or other types of establishments, but you have to remember that they are full because the competitors went away. It's known as survivorship bias. So in early stage expansions, there's a divergence between gains and broadbands of economic performance, like GDP and inflation and interest rates. You have transitory divergences as we have in the current situation. But one of the major problems, as per Dr. Hunt, is the fallacy of the broken window, broken glass. That's what's going to happen here. So guys, please tell me your views about Dr. Hunt's thoughts over all this inflation scenario. And please like this video, share it to your financial friends, and do subscribe to our channel. And after you do all this, please go back to our channel and take a look at our previous amazing videos. Bye bye and take care.